under the rubble. In the city centre, a shopping centre has been hit. Residential buildings not far from it have been damaged.
Well, let's cross live now and speak to Kristine Berzina, Senior Fellow for US Defence and Transatlantic Security at the German Marshall Fund US. And where does this kind of attack, the second biggest air assault by Russia on Ukraine, where does that leave us in terms of any sort of peace negotiations?
The attacks of last night certainly make a peace negotiation seem much further off. If anything, it is a doubling down by President Putin and Russia on its intent to hurt Ukraine, not only grab more territory, as we've seen in the last few weeks on the front lines, but to make sure that Kyiv cannot be a functioning city. It is not a step towards peace negotiations in any way. And through the attacks also on the diplomatic representations of the EU and the British Council, it is also a step against the Europeans who are supporting Ukraine, because it is a way of saying you can do what you want, but every day Russia is setting the reality in Kyiv, a reality that is not favorable to a European way of life.
So what next? What do you think needs to happen now? What does the US need to do?
Well, we're going to see what the full response from the United States is, hopefully in the next few minutes, because we are waiting for that press conference to come out of the White House. We have not seen the kind of condemnation that the Europeans have made, but again, we have not had quiet yet either. This is a very tough moment for President Trump, because he, on the one hand, wants to get Putin to peace, and he has been holding some punches, not being as tough as he could be in terms of direct sanctions, hopeful that Putin will come to the peace table. And yet at every one of these turns, Putin ratchets up his horrible attacks. And then the question is, when will there be a response, and what kind of response will that be from the United States and, importantly, from the Europeans? What is that next level of military support and diplomatic support that Ukraine's friends can provide it?
And why do you think Russia has done this? What does Russia gain from an attack of this size at this particular juncture?
There could be a bet that Russia is making that there isn't actually appetite from Ukraine's friends to help Ukraine in the long run. The purpose here could be to make the United States, the Brits, the Europeans think that long-term support for Ukraine is hopeless because Russia can just keep coming with these attacks. It is to break morale in Ukraine and to break morale and resolve among its friends. Because as we have these attacks, there are also conversations happening across this group of friends about the future security guarantees that would be given to Ukraine once we got to peace or to ceasefire. Those negotiations are in top speed at the moment and are expected to have results next week. This could be Putin saying, well, are you really sure you want to be involved with security in Ukraine? Because I'm not about to stop. And that really is counter to the security effort, but also a deeply threatening posture against all of Europe.
OK, Kristine Berzina, thank you very much indeed for that. It's good to talk to you and get your analysis.